going back looking at the film?
Oh, I mean, it just confirms some things that we thought about. On each phase, there's a lot of plays that we left out there, and just looking forward to put together a complete game on all three phases. And I think I mean, we'll have a better result if we do that.
What do you think about the physicality from the offensive line? Talk a little bit about it after the game, but looking back at it, do they need to be more physical? Is that part of what the issue?
Well, it can always be physical. I mean, I don't know if they can. If there's a limit to being physical, but I think that talking to Coach Mora and UCLA guys, they thought we were a physical team. So I don't think it's a matter of that. I think they're a good team. I mean, we went against a quality defense, but we don't help ourselves when we don't all 11 do what we're supposed to. And you can place the blame on a lot of different places, but overall we have to do a better job. Coaches and players, and the goal is just try to put forth our best effort, make sure that we're all clicking. I mean, we haven't played our best football yet, and we lost 2 games by a total of 4 points. So that's discouraging, especially since we'd like to be in a position where going into our next game this deep in the season, we should be playing a lot better, a lot more assignment sound in every phase, and that's the goal this week, is to be focused on making sure that we don't that we don't show up as we did in the last 3 games. I mean, that's to be honest with you, we've got to play our best football, and it's got to happen this week.
You said you evaluate the quarterback play after watching the film.
Yeah.
The game. What did that evaluation?
Same thing like I thought. I mean, there's a lot of different variables. I know everybody looks at one position and likes to blame it on one person, but there's so many different things that go into it with the quarterback. And talking about Taysom, the worst thing you could do is panic and make a change on stuff that you're just seeing on the line on the field when it's not actually just that one spot. There's a lot of different variables that go into it: protection, routes, and the timing. So looking at it again, it's kind of what we thought, that it would have been a premature decision to make that decision then, and I'm glad we didn't, because that's why we have a great coaching staff and to evaluate everything. And we have to be able to, in order for us to really evaluate everyone's got to do their part first. And when you have some mental breakdowns along the way, it's tough to blame it all on one person.
Does that mean Taysom will be the starter?
Yeah, he'll be the starting quarterback. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We just talked about how it's hard to blame it on one person. I think it'd just be foolish right now to make it a scapegoat, when it wasn't all his fault. So I think it's a wrong assessment from a lot of different people, and we're looking to get better so we can evaluate every position, and that's one position that I mean, you look at the game and you look at some of the misthrown balls that Josh Rosen made. He's supposed to be a great draft pick in the future. He had some errant throws as well, but whenever you're looking at it as a whole, you can't blame it on one person when it's not all his fault. So we're not going to do that.
Kalani, is the lack of production with the running game more of a product of UCLA's front being solid?
Yeah, a little bit of. I mean, I think they loaded the box and they were challenging us in the throw game, and when that happens, we need to make them pay for it. And I don't know if we were able to do that. I mean, obviously we weren't, but that's the only way you can get them out of it, And sometimes you're just going to have to just run the ball into that situation. And not every call is going to be a perfect call, but I thought, Ty did a great job calling the game. We just got to execute better.
What was your assessment of the offensive line without a Louis in there?
Obviously, you want all your guys. I mean, Louis been banged up all camp, and that's in some ways when you're missing some practice time, it hurts, as being able to run so many plays that we do. So I think not having him in, I mean, obviously you want all your guys, but we have to deal with it. That's part of college football is dealing with your depth. And I thought Austin and Thomas coming in did some good things, but we can always improve. We can always be better. And I just like it to be a more cleaner game on the offensive side, so we can, we've shown flashes. We've been able to score points when we need to in a 2-minute situation, and we just need to see more consistency from every position, because when we're clicking, it works well.
What's the balance, Connie, between both offensively, defensively, of doing what's expected and out executing the opponent versus trying to surprise them or come up with things that they're not ready for?
Well, there's not a lot of surprises in college football. I mean, in football altogether, it's tough to surprise your opponent. And I think that everyone's pretty much prepared for it, and so we just have to have stuff and find our identity on every phase and be able to have something to hang your hat on, you know. And right now, offensively, we don't have that right now, you know. So when we need to get a play, you usually go to your go-to situation type of plays, and we're still trying to find that, and it's way too late going into Game 4 right now. So we got to establish that soon and find our identity and go with it. I think that you know, I've said it before that the new system, it's been in place for a while now. So it's time to start executing and start mastering some of these plays, some of these schemes.
Does the fact you're playing a Big 12 team this Saturday, and with the conference realignment talk that's going on, does that add intrigue?
Oh,
or
no, that doesn't add anything. I mean, I'm not worried about anything other than West Virginia. A well-coached team. They got some momentum. They're coming off a bye, you know. So we're focused on the opponent, not worried about all the politics and everything behind it. That's not even entered our mind right now. We're focused more on ourselves, trying to get ready and making sure that we play assignment sound football so that we can make some improvement, you know, on the offensive, defensive, and special teams phases. So that has no bearing on what we're doing, our preparation right now.
You're a senior. You guys made like 3 trips to the East Coast, I think, within a month. What are some of the challenges of taking a team clear across the country and playing?
Well, I think when you go to 2 time zones, you know, it makes it difficult. So we're leaving a day early, trying to get acclimated to the area, and you know, we'll practice here Thursday and then head out there, and I'll be ready to go. I mean, other than that, the climate will be. I mean, I think the kickoff is at 3:30 there, so it'll be pretty hot. But you know, that's college football. It's gonna be hot for us. It's gonna be hot for them.
What was it like for you as a player to make those trips back east? What do you remember?
Oh man, you're testing my memory now. It was fun, you know. I mean, we played in a lot of different places. Played against Florida State and Virginia, and I don't know. I think if you give it too much power, you know, it's difficult and everything. We're gonna have a lot of fans there. It's a neutral site, you know. So we saw what happened the last neutral site game we had. So looking forward to playing a great place, you know, FedEx Field, and having our players be in the nation's capital. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
playing at NFL stadiums, your second this year, I think next year you play in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Do you use that in recruiting at all? Is that a topic that comes up? Or?
I mean, it's something that probably you can spin it, but I like to go to more than anything, look at what we have to offer as a program and as a school, rather than focus on stuff that only happens, you know, once or twice a year. So that's, yeah, we're going to sell BYU, the university, and sell our football program before we sell anything else on that.
What are your impressions of West Virginia's offense? Reputation is high power.
Yeah, I mean, they have the ability to score, and they have a bunch of athletes, and we've seen great athletes for the first 3 games, and so no different. You know, that's we were excited for the schedule, and now we're looking at it and saying, let's go. You know, this is another challenge, and they're a high-powered offense. I mean, Rich Rod has his footprint there, obviously, and so there's some familiar things that we've seen, but there's also some things that they do differently to go with their skill and their talent, and so it's going to be a challenge. But I think that we'll be in a good position, especially if we play our type of ball and if everybody's playing assignment sound and doing all their jobs. I think I'm excited for that.
You've talked about how depth is something you're always wanting to develop. How's the depth right now after 3 games, 3 pretty physical games? Yeah,
I mean, I think I've mentioned it before about our weight room conditioning and everything. I think that's helping us stay as healthy as we can, especially playing the high caliber type of teams that we're playing. And we play a physical style football, but I think our guys working out and staying in the weight room. We had a great lift again today. I mean, that's going to be our motto. We're going to keep working hard in the off season. I mean, in the weight room, and that's going to be our deal. But that helps keep you healthy, and it helps keep us strong, and it's going to pay off in the long run, especially when teams are starting to wilt. You know, right now we're still getting stronger, and all we have to do is just play smart and play assignment sound. That's the encouraging part, is that we've lost. I mean, it's sad and encouraging at the same time. We lost 2 games by a total of 4 points, and we haven't even played close to what we can do to our potential, especially on the offensive side. But we're still got a lot of ways to go, and I'm encouraged by the improvement we're going to make this week.
You said Fred Warner limp off the field. Any update on him?
Oh, he's going to be fine. Yeah, it's no big deal.
Staying with injuries, are you expecting Louis back, and also Jake Oldred if he was absent?
Yeah, we're still looking at Jake and Louis is going to be. We'll see how it progresses right now, but those are tough to say right now. I'm not the trainer, but we'd always like. I mean, last week I know a lot of people there were some questions about other players, but I just sometimes it comes down to the game time decision, and for me to make a statement right now on Monday, it's difficult for me to tell the future.
There were fans voicing their displeasure at times during the game, booing. At least one of your players addressed that on social media. What's your take? Do you hear the boos?
Oh no, I mean, my job isn't to tell fans what to do. They can. That's why they're called fans. They can voice their opinions however they want. And I didn't know about our players voicing or whoever did what, but our players appreciate our fans. I appreciate our fans. We know there's a lot of great loyal fans. We've seen it, and so we've seen it. We saw it Saturday night. We see it everywhere we go. So I really support. I appreciate the support that we're getting, and I know our players do too. And so, if there's a few, fans that voice their obviously displeasure, that's okay. That's their right. Like I said, we got to give them more to cheer about, and that's my job, and we'll get it going. And our players, all of them show appreciation, and but we're not in the business of telling fans how to act and how to follow. I'm just grateful that they're there, that we have the support however you take it, and if there's boos, let's turn it into cheers. That's my job.
Speaking of depth, do you expect any late additions? We saw some guys on the sidelines who aren't on the roster. Will there be any?
I don't know. Are you
Kyle
just fishing for something, or?
Well, like Kyle Johnson, is he?
Oh, he's not healthy yet. No. So no. If they're in pads, then there's a chance that they could play. But if they're not, then no. Yeah.
Brad Wilcox is.
No, he's not in pads, so he won't play. So that's, yeah. You were fishing for something then.
Anything else?
Any familiar with Dan Holgerson at all in your past?
Yeah, so I've been a big fan. I've followed him. I've seen. If you look back in the history of football, there's I remember when Hal Mummy and Mike Leach and all those guys used to be here, and he comes from that tree, So they used to come here in spring when I was playing, and so I've kind of followed them a little bit as they kind of branched out and went different places, and so there's a lot of in the route progression and a lot of things that are really familiar. But he's a great coach, and does a great job with his program, and they have their own. He has his own style to it, but the foundation is there. But you look at the history of college coaching, especially when it goes to individuals like a head coach, you can kind of find their root. If you look at my background, you can find where my philosophy and things come from defensively and offensively. So same thing with him, but he's got his own scheme and his own style, and it's really, really effective. And he has a great staff that does a great job coaching, and you're not going to find a lot of coaches that have success without being great coaches themselves, and he's up there with the best of them.
Last question.
Coach, is Taysom kind of going through a learning curve? In the past, he would always make those amazing plays, scrambling and get out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Against UCLA, he got caught, and I think everybody was like, "Wow, that's not really Taysom." Is he trying to figure out what he needs to do in those moments?
Yeah, but I think the secret of Taysom is it's no longer a secret. I think that looking at UCLA, they did some things to limit his movement, and so like I said, they try to challenge him in different ways, and he's got to find ways to make plays. If it's not to his legs, then he's got to find a way to do it with his arm. But there's things that we can do that help Taysom and put him at his strengths, that we can do offensively. And we did a little bit of that, but we just got to be more consistent and get him in a position where he can just do well all the time and feel comfortable. Because you're right. The transition and everything, we just got to. We've talked about it before, allowing him to feel comfortable. And in the 2-minute situations, we're 3 for 3 and you're running down and scoring. So I don't know, maybe that's something that he's more comfortable with, and he seemed a little bit more comfortable in that type of setting. And there's no ego involved here, so we're not going to do our own thing just despite our own scheme and our own thoughts and philosophy. We'll do whatever it takes to win, and that's one of those things that we've definitely explored, and just want to allow him to play at his best.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you guys.